Suvidha International Foundation proudly presents Padma Shri Awardee Millet Man of India in Sacramento. Dr. Khader Vali session will be on July 6th, Thursday, between 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. The event will be Rancho Cordova City Hall. Dr. Khader Vali requires no introduction. He is a renowned nutritionist and advocate for natural and holistic approaches to health, with a passion for promoting traditional and indigenous foods. He has dedicated his work to various aspects of holistic well-being, apart from his expertise in millets and their health benefits. Dr. Vali conducts in-depth research on reviving ancient traditions such as cooking in clay pots, utilizing structured water, focus on bringing back traditional methods of processing oils, and
things living is the blood, because the nutrition, it carries all things that are required at different parts of the body. You're tall. That doesn't mean Thank you. And there are a lot of constituents in the blood, and glucose being the energy molecule, we need to carry the glucose to each and every cell where it is burnt and the energy is released and you catch it as ATP. Don't worry if you are not a biology student, just brush it aside, but you will get to know the importance of this. ATP is a biological battery. Now, this fellow has to work for some time, you go and charge. But there is no plug to be charged for. So we have to do it within, and we have to become auto. So that's where all these animals get energy. So, and that's done through your mouth. You eat something. And that eating is what provides that glucose ultimately into your blood. And so that is the highest amount present in our body. 5 grams in your blood, approximately. Do you know how many liters of blood you have in your body?
5 to 6 liters.
Yeah, don't be 5.3, that's not exactly. Approximately, depends on the body size. But everyone, even if you are 4 feet 5 inches or 6 feet 5 inches, blood doesn't vary so much. It's like 5 to 6 liters approximately. So 1 gram per liter is the glucose concentration. Now you have any variations in that, because that is called homeostasis. Of course, there are 101 different biochemicals present in the blood, and each chemical has its range to be called as homeostasis of the blood. But the main ingredients, top one is glucose. So that means if I take a donut, white donut, that's a gulab jamun. You are immediately going to add glucose into your bloodstream. It doesn't take more than 3 minutes, because we have carbohydrate hydrolyzing enzymes the moment you touch the, not tongue, even lips. So, that being the case, you are now disturbing the concentration of glucose when you eat a gulab jamun, because 10 grams of glucose is entering your bloodstream. And how much we should have? Not more than 5 to 6 grams of glucose in the whole bloodstream. So the homeostasis of the blood is just disturbed like that in a minute. Now you eat rice, it takes 15 minutes. You eat wheat, 10 to 12 minutes, because you are not eating wheat flour as such, you have processed it, made atta, you have treated with it to bleach it because you want that nice gluten and all that, So there is absolutely no time for the human system. Nothing else exists other than carbohydrate. Even if you don't cook, you can make glucose in a matter of 15 minutes. So what does it mean? That is the last but one product is sugar. You are putting first thing in your digestive canal. In any biochemical processes that involve 108 steps, the penultimate product you are putting first thing on to the tongue. The first thing you do after you get up is what? Brush. Onto the brush goes the paste. How much does the paste have sugar? Just the toothpaste alone is having 2 to 3 grams of glucose. Why am I detailing this? That you should not take even a milligram of sugar into your mouth. First thing that everyone does on this planet is brush the teeth. With sugar. In the disguise saying that you need calcium to your teeth. As if the calcium in the toothpaste goes and gets stuck to your teeth. We have dental associations certifying these toothpastes. We didn't ask any question. Sugar has gone in. So we have digestive tract from mouth to anus placed by God. We don't want all of that. We don't want all of that. Directly we are putting the final penultimate product into your mouth. This is the biochemistry. So when you eat a gulab jamun or you take toothbrush or your coffee, cup of coffee or many of these so-called soft drinks, 40 grams, 50 grams of glucose is going in like that. No one to stop. So your blood is flooded with glucose. So instead of having 5 grams of glucose to pump the heart, poor machine has to pump, now the blood having 30-40 grams of glucose. And when you warm up cup of water with 5 grams of sugar, it becomes syrup. Any green leaf on this planet, the energy of the sun is utilized to break the water molecule in a chemical reaction called light reaction, where oxygen and hydrogen are separated using the energy of the sun rays. This hydrogen, having the energy imparted, takes carbon dioxide and attaching itself becomes glucose. So the energy of the sun now is in the chemical energy. So glucose is the chemical energy transformed from the sun breaking the water molecule. The nascent hydrogen is released, that goes and attaches itself to this carbon dioxide molecule, and you start building the C6 carbon from C3. From C3 to C4, oxaloacetic acid, if you give water, the yield increases. So that's how the fertilizer and waterlogging method gave higher yields of rice and wheat. These are C3 grasses. And all other plants also belong to that group. But funnily, God made this brown top millet and many varieties, more than 6,000 to 8,000 varieties of these grasses. They do not fix carbon dioxide to glucose by this method. They start their journey from C4, oxaloacetic acid itself, and building up further doesn't require water at all. So 95% of the planet open spaces is actually filled by these grasses called C4 grasses, where the photosynthesis is made from C4 unit. We have gone deeper than what we think. We have disturbed the hormonal balance because these guys did not stop at green revolution. They wanted to try another curve called white revolution. And Himalayans and around China, Tibet, Indian space of the North India, all around, called kodo millet. It's called Himalayan millet. And I have already told you, American continent grew brown top millet, even today, but we have kept it aside as animal feed, bird feed. Along with, there is another millet, though it is not technically called millet, called maize, and that was actually original food American continent. Corn, bean, and pumpkin. These three are actually grown in a wonderful, synchronized, symbiotic way. Fixing the nitrogen to have protein is the job of this bean, that called Mexican bean, rajma beans. These guys are very interesting creepers whose roots harbor microbes that can absorb nitrogen from the atmosphere. They have bacteria that fixes nitrogen to urea. That is actually the source of protein precursor. Nitrogen-based amino acids are synthesized by this wonderful legume family. You fix nitrogen into urea and that works. And this is where this green revolution fellow said, we can give fertilizer. Where did this fertilizer come from? It came from the bombs. Where are these bombs? They have made enough of them for World War. And after World War is over, they have made so many bombs that they didn't know what to do with them. So this leakage of that bomb material, they saw these C3 grasses growing well, and that's when they got this idea and said, hey guys, we have a wonderful chance to convert this bomb material to fertilizer. And that's how they chose C3 grasses, because C3 grasses do not grow everywhere and anywhere. They require particular restricted conditions, lot of water, lot of fertilizer, and temperatures are very narrow. But they made it happen. They built dams, gave water, gave fertilizer, and convinced the human race that this is the food for us. Though, in true sense, in scientific sense, they are not our food materials at all, because they do fail miserably in qualifying the definition of food, of releasing glucose slowly and steadily into your bloodstream. Am I making sense now? Yes. So we had food all over the world, everyone eating, and no one had any diabetes, no one had any BP, no one had any endocrine system going haywire. So for me, it was so simple that if only we substitute this, in quotes, food, and it became industry, it's food industry. So food became corporatized. So I started calling this corporate food, industrial food, because all over the world, in my hometown Mysore, nearby there is a small village, small town called Chamarajnagar. There is a Pizza Hut. And there is Pizza Hut in New Zealand, there is Pizza Hut in New York, there is Pizza Hut in Bangalore airport, there is Pizza Hut in Punjab, many places. You go to any place, it tastes the same. Same, ditto. Forget about the pizza tasting the same. You go walk in, it looks like you are in New York Pizza Hut only. The layout of the exactly the same. Do you know why I paused here? Food became corporatized. How can on earth this happen? I have a backyard guava fruit tree in my house, and my house is laid out in such a way that some part of the plant doesn't get sun as much as the other part. So it gives beautiful guava fruits. I pluck the fruit and eat in this side. It is very tasty. I go to the other side where there is no sun, is little less. I take its different taste. The same tree, same guava, same fellow, same hands plucking, eating its different taste. And here we are, New Zealand same taste, America same taste, Chamarajanagar also same taste. Do you see what I am trying to communicate to you? In nature, diversity. The same plant you get different taste. But here we have dates. All over the world, same taste. How much processing is going on? Standardization of taste. So now everyone expects pizza to be just like that only. In fact, the fellow who invented pizza will be turning in his grave because he didn't meant the pizza to be like this. Am I making sense? So food should have been cooked in your kitchens. Hey, come on, Dr. Khader, what are you doing? We are now ordering Zomato and Swiggy. We had a match called IPL, some Super Kings and some other, this so-called league matches. I don't need to say, starting from baseball, football, all leagues. You know what happened on that night of the final? Bangalore were 1.1 crores or so. I am not in Bangalore, luckily. On that particular day, they ordered 98 lakhs orders from Zomato and Swiggy. And we are 1.1 crore. Where is the kitchen? Where is the kitchen? So in Bangalore, we have no kitchens. And on a regular basis, all over the world, Bangalore holds the record. Every day we are ordering 88 lakhs Zomato and Swiggy. No other place in the world has this record. Including New York is way behind second. It is 51 lakhs or 52 lakhs. So we are beating New York hands down or hands up, I don't know. So these foods and food habits are straight evolution. Milk. For some reason, I don't know, in Europe and America, the mothers did not want to feed their babies. But the babies only drink milk at that time. Whose milk? Mother's milk. But then the scientists thought otherwise. We'll bring some cow. Have cow. Europe didn't have cow or America didn't have cow. Poor Indians had one cow. Oh, looks nice. Bring one here. They brought 100 of cows. But 100 cows, they waited for them to give milk. Only 10 fellows gave calves and only 10 cows gave milk. And each cow was giving 1 liter milk or 2 liters milk. What is this? I give food for 100 cows and only 10 fellows are giving babies. So this is not the way. So they said, take some bulls, get the sperms, we'll put them inside and let each and every cow give calf. So that, then remove the calf, we'll eat or do something else with them, let these cows keep giving milk. And 1 liter is not enough. We will tinker with this, some genetic modifications. And these cows are not eating actually, because these cows by nature eat something and then they go lie down there and bring back into their mouth and start chewing. This is called regurgitation. That's how they eat. In fact, they don't actually, natural desi cows don't eat much. But these fellows are not eating, how will they give milk? So what they said is, pigs eat a lot. They keep eating. So they took some gene from there and put it here. This is called, so they started eating more. So that they can give more milk, and they just did little more manipulation of injecting some hormones, this and that. And this cows gave 25 liters. Wow. Just like an acre of land gave 30 quintals by giving fertilizers and pesticides. They did something called, this is oh, wonderful sign. You see, our cow is giving 25 liters. You poor fellows, your cow gives only 1 liter. We are number 1. And they said this is A1 milk. Then our cows become A2 milk. I'm trying to get some humor, you are so serious. But it is a fact. Though I'm trying to make it humorous, it's a fact. That's how A2 milk, A1 milk came. So we have A1 milk, lot of milk, 1,000 cows, 1,000 calves, 1,000 into 25, why 1,000 make 100,000, billions of cows, called dairy industry. To do that, they said milk, complete food. I don't know whose food it is. For who it is food? For the calf. Where are calves? They have taken away.
They have to come out of food.
Milk is food in a mammalian increase. So what does the cardiovascular muscles do? They have to. And that's not enough. Afternoon you have some more. Snacks. Before dinner, after dinner. Approximately 100 grams of glucose is going in. It has to be dealt with. If you do not deal with, the heart becomes, the load is to be carried. So what does liver, spleen, pancreas do? They convert this excess glucose. Anyway, you need glucose to burn and get energy. What is your problem, you white-haired fellow, is the question. The problem is that the excess glucose starts absorbing water from the living cells. So blood is flowing all around. So every living cell is going to be at the mercy of this excess glucose containing blood, because the glucose absorbs water, the living cells are getting parched. So what is your problem? Go and drink some water. Go and drink some water. Then that's a blood thinner, You drink water, So the blood is now thinned down, so the pump is working little better than this. And where does it has to go to the kidney? Because the kidney has to filter the excess things, so it removes. Again, the glucose is not gone anywhere, it is there only. It's just become thin because you've taken some 1 cup water or half liter water. It's gone. So again you take, again you search for the toilet. So you do this 4 or 5 times in 2-3 hours, then you go to doctor, sir, you might have had diabetes. And so the system doesn't want that to happen. What it does is it takes the glucose, converts it into glycogen, fat, meat, and all of a sudden, within few days, you start putting on weight. How many kilos? 1 kilo, 2 kilo, 3 kilo, 4 kilos. I came to Houston some 2-3 years back. Huge board welcomes me. Welcome to Texas. Here everything is big. I walk out, people are walking like that. Each one 200 kilos, 300 kilos. And that's what has happened. You have high cholesterol, you have triglycerides, you have this, you have that. All these are trying to manage the glucose that you are. Can I use some word there? You are eating. Shall I use the word senselessly? Or something else that is more polite? So you have created a host of imbalances, and that's just basically glucose imbalance, transmutating itself into these wonderful diseases. Go to your doctor, he says you have high cholesterol, take a tablet. You have triglycerides, take a tablet. You have the BP, blood pressure, because the fellow is struggling to pump. Then you have, because of the vessels getting sclerotic, because there is deposits of these triglycerides, cholesterol, this glycogen and fat materials. They are building up. And the small girl, Tanusha, said, people are dying high numbers in cardiovascular diseases. Do you know where are these things coming from? The senseless eating of glucose imbalance. When you go to these doctors, what do they say? Take blood thinners. Am I right? And you being naive, you ask, how long, sir? What's the answer? Lifelong. You have diabetes. We will convert that glucose into something else. You take this tablet, that tablet, that tablet. Over a period of few years, they keep changing the tablets. How long, sir? How long? Lifelong. Now, the glucose concentration being different, you have a problem because there are some glands called endocrine system, ductless glands. They release their juices into the bloodstream straight. They could do it well in a balanced way if the glucose was normal, in the sense that homeostasis of the glucose was maintained. Now that you guys are eating senselessly the sugar and rice wheat, which are releasing glucose in a short span of time without any control, no control at all, what has happening to the release of these juices of these ductless glands? There are many called endocrine, pituitary, adrenal, thyroid, and so many are there. So what did this imbalance of glucose do? And there are many hormones that are released into the bloodstream. Hormones are chemicals that supervise many of the biochemical processes to make it stop, to make it go. All these signals with the help of proteins that are actually synthesized by the gut microbes in your gut. So much interplay and integration and synchronization is needed in this wonderful biochemical drama that is going on in each and every living cell. And it is happening in the background of this wonderful liquid called blood. So what did we do? We disturbed this. Even if you are not a biology student, I hope I am making sense. So the blood is out of whack. It has become thick. It has got many of the constituents way over what the range should have been to call it being homeostatic. Homeostasis is maintained. No, we have disturbed in many of these constituents. Concentrations are going out of range. Thus, this so-called endocrine system should have been releasing these juices in a particular, proper, again balanced way. They are confused because they are releasing but they are not flowing. So they get wrong signal. Should I release more or less? They don't know. So now you have your thyroid not knowing to increase or not. So it just confused. Sometimes it increases because in that nearby area, if there is less of glucose, it can pump. It's all depending upon the concentration of these constituents. So you have created problem now in the endocrine systems. Once you created, are you with me?
Yes.
And if the amount of particular juice from particular endocrine system is not so much in quotes that concentration, certain functions cannot go properly. So now you see the higher concentration of glucose, you have transferred the problem to endocrine system being going confused and not knowing what to do or what not to do. The problems are transferring to one place to the other. So no problem, come, we'll give you a thyroid tablet. We have found to maintain that. How long, sir? Go ahead. So, where is the problem? These guys think for every ill they can make a pill. Does this problem get solved? And we call this science. So there are so many biochemists, so many scientists, so many doctors have not got a single question to ask. And reporting lot of cardiovascular disease, heart attacks, heart blocks. Come, we will operate. We have wonderful technology. I can see even without touching you. I have MRI, I have this, I have that, CT scan, PET scan, this scan, all scans. Wonderful. After that, what? The block is there. Then, what do? I'll remove it. But what would have been the simple answer? What would have been the simple answer? Don't eat rice, wheat, sugar. Am I right? Am I making sense? For heaven's sake, the whole human race has been eating millennia grains called millets. Not just in India, all over the world, including America. Even today, they grow tons and tons of brown top millet in Colorado. Funnily, the highest apex body of science called FDA writes on the grains, not for human consumption. It's bird feed, it's pig's feed, it's primitive food, it is animal food, or these exact words. The so-called Green Revolution scientists told the whole human race and made us not to eat the food chosen by God for the human gut. Because the brown top millet has got 12.5% of fiber interloculated with the carbohydrate when the grain is forming and does not allow the glucose to be entering the bloodstream in a flood-like manner and allows the glucose balance to be maintained when you eat this wonderful grain. You should clap. We have found a solution. Simple. So if you can regulate the entry of glucose into your bloodstream, so if I eat pita bread made by brown top millet. I believe that was what Jesus ate in his last supper, unleavened bread made of ground top millet. So he ate, he didn't die. This is what it is, that the food is not designed by the scientific consideration of our physiology. And for the last 75 years, this rice, wheat and sugar has been parading all around the countries of the world, because in Western world they said green revolution, they produced food in large quantities per acre. The rice and wheat that was not grown beyond 7 to 8 quintals per acre, now these guys in the name of green revolution gave water and fertilizer and produced 30 quintals per acre. But then they said food security, and while doing so, they patented the seeds of these grains. That means they took away the right to grow from farmers, and farmers since then have to be at the mercy of these food corporate seed companies. And this is what has happened. That they did not bother science to decide the business, rather business decided the science, in quotes. Once that happened, that science for me was not science, it became in quotes science. Am I? Do you agree with me?
Yes.
If you don't agree with me, your brains are fogged. That's all happened. And we have had so many diseases called lifestyle diseases. So much so that now we have almost 8% of many kids on many parts of this planet are born with type 1 diabetes. So be it diabetes, type 1, and now 60% of pregnant women have gestational diabetes. Type 1 diabetes, type 2 diabetes, gestational diabetes, and huge amounts of research. There are so many libraries that you cannot fit many libraries. So much information is churned out in the name of research. And have they cured one? So much research. So what they did, they said these are incurable, declared. So by chance, anyone does not eat rice, wheat and sugar. In fact, this disease will disappear in a matter of 30 days. That's all it takes.
You said 30 days?
Yeah. 30 days. But here we are, made to believe that we have to take lifelong tablets. They have total control all over the world. Anyone who says you cannot even say you can cure diabetes, because it is declared incurable. So we will use the word reverse. So stop eating this rice, wheat, glucose, all this nonsense, because it doesn't make any sense. But they are calling it, you eat whatever you want, take this step. Are you clear?
Yes.
If you say green signal, then I'll go further. Green signal?
Yes.
Green signal? Good. The baby has also given me the green signal. So we only have to substitute this glucose imbalancing in quote food by something that can regulate glucose entry into our bloodstream and maintain the homeostasis of the blood forever is something called brown top millet, which of course has been declared as bird feed, pig feed, animal feed, primitive food, coarse grains. And these are exact words blabbered by the green one after the other without your knowledge. Don't clap, the story is still a long way. So, you see, the farmers became no farmers, they became laborers to these corporate food companies. All over the world, everyone has to grow. The other, in quote, C4 grass farmers are now not knowing whether they're farmers or not, because whatever they were growing is declared as no food, no one is buying. So they continue to eat themselves. But then, hey, it's a primitive food, it's poor man's food, all this societal. See, here is the problem actually. Left to themselves, left to us, oh, what the hell, you eat whatever you want, we'll eat this and we are happy. But they don't want that to be like that. So there were women who wanted to cook in the house and feed their babies and be happy. No, we will not allow you. We have TV serials, we have these so-called great iconic fellows coming and telling you to eat there, to eat this restaurant is better. Oh man, Binaka, Bhitmala, number 1, number 2, number 3. Number 1 restaurant, this is better than that, this is better than that. All these competitions, announcements, carrying on this information through all kinds of, and your IPL, you are all watching, oh, this is better than that. You are not actually watching IPL, you are eating this so-called corporate food. You don't know what you are popping up, it's called popcorn. Are you watching these dots? This is all happening all at a time, and you are not even aware of it. It made no sense for me. So I said, if my science is right, I'll go back and get these grains and feed these so-called lifestyle diseases and see if I can cure. I went back. I was actually in America for 10, 12 years. Yeah, but it didn't make sense for me to stay back here. So I went back, and then luckily I went back because all the farmers have given up. There were no seeds left. If you do not grow the seeds year by year, they lose their viability. In fact, brown top millet, I went Pavagada near border of Karnataka and Andhra. One great old lady gave me a fistful. Came back and started growing. In fact, out of fistful, I had only 8 seeds sprouted, and then I collected some more. So I did 3-4 generations and made 2-3 kilos. Then gave to a farmer and said, "You grow, oh, this we were growing, this is called bird feed, why do you want me to grow this?" He said, "Please grow and give me." I paid him more than what normally a farmer gets, and he grudgingly gave me and said, "You are a mad fellow, what are you doing with this?" I went home, took a chakki and removed the husk, and then fed a gangrene patient, little minute. Lo and behold, in a matter of 3 weeks, the gangrene, the leg what to be all amputated, it got healed like that, because the glucose imbalance, which spread to even the bone marrow and the immune system going kaput. You know what word kaput? Kaput. It's a Hindi word actually, but I think you can find it in the dictionaries in English. It's not working, gone out of whack. So that is the problem. And eating little millet for 2 to 3 days started reducing the glucose imbalance, and all the antibiotics that fail to heal the wound, because you are not having glucose running around all the body, the pathogenic bacteria started receding and the good bacteria started making and healing structures. So I was so relieved that my so-called hypothesis is right. We were able to heal something that declared and they were ready to cut his leg. So that fellow went back and said, hey, I am doing fine. After 3 months, I gave him 2-3 millets and he ate. He said, sir, I am doing fine. Can I go back and eat my normal food? So here I am stupid. Fed him abnormal food. In fact, there are many patients whose HbA1c was 10. Within 30 days, they start feeling better. And HbA1c has to be measured once in 3 months. So after 3 months, they measure it is 4.5 to 6 or 6.5. They are so happy. And then they are very smart. They said, bye-bye, Dr. Khader. And then after 6 months, he appears again with HbA1c 10. Then he sincerely follows for 3 months and says, man, bye-bye, Khader. So now he says, I am not at all afraid because I know how to get it done. So 6 months I will eat palav, 24 into 7, Sacramento sweetie, and come back to you. I'm not joking. I have so many people doing this. But it's pathetic. But it is the addiction by the societal pressures. That's what making these things happen. That's when I realized, unless we dent the human consciousness, there will be no health at all on this planet. Because even the fellow who was demonstrated for the deadly disease, otherwise he would have died. And he is not willing to change his mind. That means a lot more people have to say that I can cure diabetes. See, this is the problem. Now we have gone beyond science. It is something else. It's gone into emotional level and many more dimensions of human existence. Because that fellow thought he's not eating the real food. Because all others are eating something else and he thinks all are doing fine. But everyone, 70% people have cardiovascular diseases, and then the medical world still thinks they are doing everything fine. So where is the problem? Now it is not in the kitchen, it is here. So unless we dent the consciousness of human race that these problems can be fixed, we cannot fix our kitchens. Because that's where the health is. Are you understanding these different layers of how we have been traveling in the last 75 years? It's not just America, it's not India, it's not England, it is absolutely every part of the world is doing the same stupid, nonsensical things in the name of science. How do we get out of it? The whole communities have to participate in this. We need to talk loud and clear that we have lost our way. Are we ready to fix? Are we ready to fix and do the course correction?
Yes.
That's all? Yes. You are not ready. Tomorrow morning you want your cup of coffee.
They dittam, kidatakatam takadikutari kidatakata dittam, kidatakatam takadikutari kidataka dittam, kidatakatam takadikutari kidataka talangu dinta din, dittam, kidatakatam takadikutari kidataka talangu dinta din, dittam, kidatakatam takadikutari kidataka talangu dinta talangu di, talangu dinta talangu di, talangu dinta talangu ta.